Good evening. Welcome to the Pizza Roundtable, part of the I Need Pizza Club network. I am one of your hosts, Jim Mumford, joined by Chef Anna Crucitt, and joined by a very special guest, Scott Wiener. Anna, Scott, good evening. How the heck are you?
Fantastic. Wonderful to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
The
doing
honor
great.
is all over here. So, um, boy, a lot to get into, but I think, Anna, if you're okay, I'd love to introduce Scott a little bit. I know you two were oldish friends. I was just getting acquainted with Scott. But Scott, for those who haven't had the pleasure, like myself, who the heck are you?
Who am I?
Yeah, it's a tough
You know what?
question.
Just like all of us, I'm a pizza lover. That's basically it. I'm dedicated to the spread of information about pizza for the purpose of bringing all of humanity together over our shared love for the slice.
Mm, love
Full
that.
stop.
Boy, that's an elevator pitch if I ever heard one. So Scott, I think you're bearing the lead a little bit on who you are and what you do, but you are the founder of Slice Out Hunger, correct?
That is correct. Slice That Hunger is a nationwide network of pizzerias who are like-minded in that we all see the problem of food insecurity and see our position as people who are able to fight it.
No, it's wonderful. I know, Anna, you've done events for them, and certainly, again, Scott, your reach is far and wide and very impactful. So honored to have you on this evening. We'll go through a couple articles, but the first article I want to get into, I think I want to throw to you because it's your upcoming event. Scott, do you want to tell us a little bit about what we're doing this weekend?
Absolutely. So the background on this is that Slice Out Hunger is this nationwide organization. It's a 501c3. We do hunger relief work through a network of pizzerias nationwide, and then we do that through some live events and some decentralized campaigns. But the live events that we produce are often like little mini pizza festivals. And this Sunday we've got our big Brooklyn, New York pizza festival, which is called Pizza on the Pier. It's a pizza festival that happens on Pier 6 in Brooklyn Bridge Park this coming Sunday, May 18th from noon till 5 p.m. And we have 3 sessions, 12 pizza makers per session. And on each of those sessions, people can buy tickets for the session, $50 in advance, 60 day of, and they get in for 90 minutes and they get unlimited pizza, Coca-Cola products, hot honey from Mike's Hot Honey, all kinds of cool stuff. Some gelato from Roberto Caparuccio, topped with some Cordo olive oil and flaky sea salt. It's going to be delicious. And it's just a super fun event. It gets the community out, and we highlight not necessarily the pizzerias that are participating, but really we drill down to highlight the pizza makers. So because this whole event is 9 outdoor ovens, all wood fired, 100% wood fired, because we're doing that type of oven, we're inviting all these pizzerias who might not necessarily use that type of oven in their business. We're inviting them to use that oven and to collaborate with each other and to make, don't think of themselves as making the pizza of their pizzeria. Think of themselves as like using this for an event to explore, collaborate with other pizza makers, and just have a blast so that the people who show up are getting an event that is unlike visiting any of the restaurants.
Yeah, I mean, just how incredible, right? And just the access to the pizza makers, right? Their ability to collaborate, right? So something that is unique in this event is unrivaled. So Anna, I know you've been a part of these. I mean, it sounds awesome, right?
Yeah, they are a lot of fun. And I mean, 12 pizza makers, that's huge for three events or three different time slots. It's going
Yeah.
to be big. That's exciting.
Yeah, it's wild. We have 4 Forni ovens. Each of those ovens, we have 2 pizza makers working together on that oven. And then we have an uni station, 2 uni stations, each one with 2 ovens. So this way we have on each session, we have 12 different pizza makers. Like we want people to be able to say yes to participating in the event. So we provide dough, sauce, cheese, pepperoni, Romano cheese, like olive oil, all the stuff that you could need. So if a pizza maker wants to participate, but they can't afford to deal with the resources and transportation of all that other stuff, they could bring with them a bag of red onions or some pickled jalapenos or whatever, and they could
Oh boy.
participate. A lot of them end up wanting to bring all their ingredients, which is fine. But it's like the point of the event is just to show this really cohesive pizza community in a city where I think people have an outdated opinion or an outdated theory that pizzerias are all sort of like against each other as competitors. And the
Not
reality
even.
is, well, no, not well, because like there are a lot that feel like that, but the top 10%, 5% maybe, all know each other very well and get along. And that's who we invite.
How wonderful. You're telling me that pizza makers want to make their own dough? That's wild to me. That's a joke. But no, I mean, how great, right? Because, for those in the pizza community, it's so collaborative, right? And people want to share and help and to do it and, right, to have some altruism with it. I think, I mean, this is as amazing as it gets. Kudos. And how many people are you expecting? Sorry if you mentioned that.
Probably around 400 to 500 total,
Jeez.
spread across 3. Yeah, I mean, this whole event came out of COVID. We used to do an event every year. There was a dollar slice party. 60 pizzerias would donate
Yeah.
pizza,
I remember that.
20 or 30 pies each. Yeah, everybody, we sell them for $1 a pop. But then COVID, we couldn't do that event. So we said, well, let's do something outside. And then Michael Ayub, who owns Fornino, said, oh, why don't you use my place? You can have it. I'll help you set it up.
Casually.
Yeah, we got some ovens. I mean, but that's what it is. It is casual. Like
Yep.
within this community, it is as casual. Like I was at Keste today and I said to Roberto, hey, we're going to need more gelato. And do you have a cart for us? Yeah, sure. Let's go downstairs. Okay, we'll use that. Great, we'll use that. Oh, and by the way, Roberto, can you make 300 pounds of cheese for us? Yeah,
Make,
let me make a
right?
phone call.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. A lot of times it's pretty
Incredible.
easy to get an answer. Like everybody helps each other out when they need it and pretty cool.
Great. And for those like me who don't live in New York, how can people donate? How can people help out to slice out hunger?
So this particular event raises money for the Pie It Forward program, which we use to send pizza to shelters and soup kitchens all around the country. We have a fund of cash that we use to purchase pizza from pizzerias. And we prioritize people who are our pizza partners. So this way, if we know somebody who's, oh, this place that we already work with is 5 miles away from this shelter, well, let's buy 30 pizzas from them. This will be great. We'll ask them if they can throw in an extra 4 pizzas or a salad or
Yeah.
something else. And so that's how this event works. So people can go to sliceouthunger.org/donation or donate, and that allows you to make donations to specific programs like the Pirate Forward program or our pizza relief, our emergency relief response program, or to our general fund, which is how we fund everything we do. Since we don't take any money out of our program funds to support what we do, all of our overhead gets covered by our general fund, which is mostly carried by our sponsors like Stanislaw and Cordo, Coppola Wines, Uni. We have most of the support coming from those companies.
No, heck of an event and heck of an organization. Thank you. Thank you for all you do to promote your work. So amazing. And again, bummed I can't miss this one, but certainly everyone who can should check it out because this is a once in a lifetime kind of deal.
Yeah, it's super, super fun. You're always invited. Every time we do it, please, you guys are invited. And
Is it always the
obviously,
same weekend?
no, this is the first time we're ever doing it this weekend. Is this a bad weekend for you? I'll change it if you need.
I was just gonna say I could plan for it in a future year if it would stay a similar. I'll be away next week, but future years I could make, arrangements.
We'll work on it.
Yeah.
Our
I would
schedule
love
right
to
now
come.
is you should come. So great. October is our dollar pizza party. May is this event. March is the tailgate in Vegas with Expo. Like we have a pretty good schedule that we deal with these things, but it gets tough because asking Fornino to give us their whole space on what's probably going to be a very busy weekend in May, it's kind of a tough one. But that's why, like Michael, well, it's getting hot, yeah. And it's also getting, like in New York, just like when it's a rough winter and it's cold, and then suddenly it's gorgeous. This city
Everyone comes
definitely
alive.
everybody shows up.
Absolutely. Lovely. Well, no, great event. Thank you for sharing. If you're all right, we can dive in. I've got 5 articles this week that we can get into if you're all right.
Yeah.
Oh.
All
Bring it
right.
on.
So I figure we'll start with this one on the same vein of quality wood-fired pizza. This comes to us courtesy of Tasting Table DiGiorno. New wood-fired style crust frozen pizzas will have you skipping the restaurant for a night in So immediate reactions. DiGiorno pizza, fan, not a fan? Do we have one in the freezer in case of emergency? What are our thoughts here?
I do not
One in a
have
while.
one. I do not
Yeah,
have one.
same. So, the article goes on to say, DiGiorno, who's been, I think they were kind of the first kind of gourmet frozen pizza, kind of trying a new thing. We talked about their Hidden Valley Ranch collab. We talked about some of their other kind of gimmicks, but, they're getting into wood-fired style crust. So, the crust you can see is kind of thin, right? I would almost call it their play on maybe like a New Haven. But I don't know. What are your thoughts here? Do you really think it's going to be a wood fired hit from DiGiorno, or is this just another gimmick that will get replaced in a couple weeks?
Well, I want to know what they mean by wood fired style. Because it, like, to me, when I look at those pictures, I don't think New Haven at all. I think of like leopard spotted is their goal, like something that's like not deeply charred, but like
Yeah.
high temperature, fast bake charred. But
Like
I
the
love that
box
they.
picture looks pretty on point, but the one that's sitting in front of it does not carry
Well, it's
the
still frozen. Yeah.
still looks
Yeah,
Yeah.
fresh.
It's interesting, right? Because obviously this isn't something like you would do, Anna, right? This isn't like, they say the deep charring and you've got the contrast. And the box, it kind of seems like that's what they're going for. But yeah, those four in front look, frankly, still frozen. And just I don't know if this is really going to be, because part of the wood fired, right, it's the high temperature, it's the whole the flavor of the wood, and I don't think you're going to get that from a 350-degree reheat.
I'm just over here like laughing at the cheese pull in the picture because
yeah, me too.
no wood fired pizza I've really had has that much cheese on it and it's sustainable, but maybe they're cooking it at a lower temperature. I don't know.
Maybe.
This to me is like it's like a Frankenstein's monster pizza where they've taken the circumference, like they've taken the edge, and they said, "Well, let's make that look like these Neapolitan pizzas." And then the center is just same old, low moisture mozzarella, pepperoni.
Yeah.
I think
And I
there's a
also
market for it though. I think they're on the right
totally,
track. If it tasted good, this could be like a winner. I'm not going to buy it, but
it's the word
Yeah.
style that bugs me because like that tells you right there, like it's not like they're baking these in wood fired ovens.
right.
No.
They're doing
Gosh, no.
something like I don't know what it is, like pressing in bits of sugar to caramelize, like something that just gets the spotting. You know what I mean? There's like food scientists, obviously at DiGiorno,
Right.
food scientists dealing with how do we get it to give this spotting look and still have the center be cheesy, gooey American pizza.
Yeah. Well, if you are to try it, it looks like MSRP of $6.49. Get wherever you like your pizzas. So, Tasting Table does review them. They say it's surprisingly not greasy and not heavy. A sweet sauce, airy crust. So, I mean, overall, kind of favorable reviews, which I don't know I would have expected, but they say it stays crisp, which I think is certainly right. Wood fired, that's one of the characteristics. And their final thoughts as it skips to the next article. There we go. Normally stay away, but not terrible, I think, was the review from Tasting Table.
I see something interesting as you're scrolling in this, Jim. Can
Right.
you
Yeah.
scroll back up to some of these pictures? Like when I think like this one is really interesting. When I think frozen pizza, I think it's an assembly line production. There's robotics, like the highest end of robotics. How is the pepperoni so unevenly distributed by the machinery that humans are worried is going to take over our planet? When I see that, I think we got no
Fine.
problems here. This is like a disaster.
Uh, yeah. I mean, as someone who works in kind of that industry, there are probably 4 people dedicated to just doling out pepperoni, and to still be that uneven, especially after cook, is, you're right, interesting, right? Which just goes to tell you you'll never replace the human hand when it comes to pizza.
But
I'm
maybe
just
that's
curious
like
how it's
the
not a
handmade.
perfect circle.
Yeah.
Shouldn't it be?
You'd
Or
think,
maybe
right?
But maybe that's the wood fired style
I
is
was
that
saying
it's
maybe that's
artisan, it's uneven.
maybe I don't know. They're just so pale. I guess that's what jumps out to me. That even the premium pepperoni, which it's just pale, and I don't know. But
And it's all
hey,
hanging out in the center. Come on.
yeah, I think this is probably the ceiling of what DiGiorno can do. I'll give them that, but I would rather take my money and go get a couple slices at the local shop.
For
Personally,
$6, maybe I'll buy one if I see it in a grocery store.
there you go.
What do you guys think is
Go.
the next trend that they're going to go for? Like, what style of pizza will the frozen companies go for as the next big launch?
I'll take that one. As a regional pizza kind of guy, you see your your Detroit's kind of coming in, but that needs special. I think they're going to go the other way and go ultra thin tavern, right? But they're going to call it tavern, right? Because they're thin crust, but they're a party cut it on the top. They're gonna lean into the sausage and jardinere. I think that's the next one because it's very economical to make and it's something you don't need high pans or anything special. That's my guess.
That's what I was gonna say.
There
A
you go.
tavern
Great
style.
minds.
I think tavern style, but they won't be pre-cut, so it would come with like a cutting guide, and it would be up
I
to the
think,
user. And I think most users are going to triangle.
which is a blasphemy from this good Chicago boy. But yeah, I think so, right? Because has Detroit kind of came and went, and we'll kind of talk about some other regional chains coming in. I just anything with a high pan, takes up too much space on the shelf, right, in the freezer, and you need specialized equipment. I don't think the price will ever pay. So that's my guess. Hopefully not St. Louis. I don't think the world needs that, but hopefully just generic Midwestern tavern style. Sorry, had to. All right, let's keep moving with tavern style pizza. Boy, you can't write these segues even if you wanted to. So Aurelio's Pizza to close only City of Chicago location. So for those not familiar, Aurelio's, which is a very popular family-owned pizzeria that's known for their tavern-style super sweet sauce, is closing its only Chicago location in South Loop. Actually, used to live across the street from here. And I think this is notable for a couple reasons. One, not just because this is the Pope's favorite pizza place, but two, I probably could have picked one of several other articles where these regional chains are starting to contract, right? So Buddy's, a very popular one in Michigan for Detroit style, they're closing locations. And you start to see the contracting of some of these, mom and pop pizza chains. And I think we've seen it for a while. So, maybe I'll throw it over to Scott. Like, what are your thoughts here on some of these, regional kind of the pizza chains? Are you seeing them thrive, shrink, somewhere in the middle? Or is it just my biased Midwest opinion?
I don't have any good data on this. When I don't know much about the Buddies contraction stuff, but to me, that just means that somebody overexpanded. I know Aurelio's claims that the whole point of this is that because they want to concentrate on expansion, and there must be some issue with that location. Rent issue. Maybe, did they own the building? Are they selling the building? It's just probably not a profitable. It's like the answer to any question about any business. Why is such and such place closing? Because they weren't doing enough business to keep it open.
Yeah. And
I would
yeah,
argue that
Yeah.
right. Let's go.
because I have a very profitable business that sometimes I would like to close just because I don't want to deal with it anymore. And I think people would look back and be like, but they were always busy. Why would they close? And I was like, who closes a profitable business? I just can't, sometimes I can't deal with the general public. So that's always a possibility for
Always a
why owners would
possibility.
Yeah,
close
but
a business.
But with them, it's not because they're not closing the business. They're just closing that
Right,
location.
Yeah.
right.
And they're
So that,
closing it so they
yeah.
can expand the franchise.
Then
So
leave
that
it at
location's interesting because they built that location, especially built footprint just for them. I remember 'cause it was very loud right outside my window, right? And it was a huge corner right on Michigan Avenue, right? So you want to talk about foot traffic, massive. The only thing is what I think maybe they didn't anticipate is the mom and pop tavern style place 2 blocks down that wins every award everywhere, Flo and Santos, right? So, I do wonder that they just get outdone in the neighborhood. And it is close to where the Chicago Bears play, and maybe they thought there'd be more traffic, but it's just interesting, right? And then, you said Buddies, Buddies is actually, here in Western Michigan in a very huge town, right? And it was always busy, but yet they're closing it. And that, it just odd, right? Because, I would order from buddies all the time. And it's always a wait, always a wait, always, the parking lot's packed. And then they close the doors with 1 day notice. So, Scott, you said, right, there's profitability, right? All this is driven by profitability. It's just odd to me that, keep seeing them every week when I look at these articles, so and so chain closing. It's never opening. And I feel like it worries me a little bit, right? And I don't know if these mom and pops overexpanded or they're trying a different segment, but I love a good regional chain, right? And I don't want it to be the big four or nothing. But I'm afraid that their food costs or what is starting to squeeze them. Just my semi-informed 2 cents. All right, let's go. Boy, let's take a hard pivot here. So we're gonna go to Anna's neck of the woods, and we're going to go to Pittsburgh. So this is from Yahoo Life. This Pennsylvania pizza shop that services slices with heaps of cold cheese. We are, of course, talking
So
about Ohio Valley style pizza.
that Joe's Pizza, I could see spot that anywhere.
You can spot it anywhere. So Anna, you're familiar. It's in your area. Tell us about Ohio Valley style pizza before we go any further.
It is not for everyone, but if you love this style, this is like your gig. It's a pizza. They top it with cold cheese and a lot of cold cheese. I mean, it's just and the toppings are just like that. You just eat it. It's not cooked on it. It's like just an after bake. And this is a super popular pizzeria. It is in Pittsburgh, but it's probably 30 some minutes away from me. So we don't regularly order it. Although I have had it and I would say that it's good. It's just not my style.
Love it. So Scott, Ohio Valley style pizza, familiar? You make it home every week, I'm assuming?
What are the other places that make this besides Beddoes?
So there Beddoes is the one that like is well known for it. Other places would do it, but it would just be in addition to their menu. So it would be just very local Pittsburgh places.
Like, how
Yeah.
many places offer this?
So
I mean, I can think of like two.
So if you go west, like Medina, Ohio, right, kind of in the Ohio Valley, there's some places that specialize in this.
Okay.
I have a place in my book, that talks about these, and it's very niche, right? They actually started coal miners, right? So coal miners would, they couldn't really have hot food. They wouldn't stay hot. So they would just kind of par bake the crust and then kind of DIY it when they got to lunch. It's really interesting kind of origin in the Appalachian Mountains. But yeah, there are some places kind of in small towns. Yeah, Anna's right. Other than Beato's, there's really no one place you're like, oh, this is a destination. It's, Ohio Valley Pizza Company's the other one that comes to mind. There are some others who kind of created it, but it is, as I say, it's a very acquired taste,
It's more
Why
texture for me.
all texture.
Yeah.
is it always square?
No.
Normally, no,
I mean, it's not always,
not
but
always, but I'm used to it being square, like trays.
With the whole coal miners story, is that just an oral history or is there any evidence?
I spoke to basically one of the founders who originated this style. I asked, where'd you get this from? I said, I got it from my mom, and she used to make this for the family. So I have spoke to people who can say this is why we started to make this style, because it was essentially our way of making a sandwich, right? An open faced sandwich with pizza ingredients.
But isn't a sandwich easier?
Yeah, but if you're Italian and you want to make pizza or you want to do something else, listen, I didn't make it, bud. I'm just reporting what I see.
I just question the story when there's only an oral history and there's no actual evidence. I just question
Yeah,
it.
it's fair.
It
Go ahead.
also looks
Yeah,
gross.
Anna's ready to go.
I was gonna say he can put you in contact with the
Yep,
family that
happy
did
to.
this, and
I would
maybe
love to.
that.
I mean, I gotta eat it because there's a couple places out here that do like they reheat a slice of pizza and then you get a handful of unmelted mozzarella on it, and it's kind of like a shtick. Like I wouldn't call it a style out here because it's like a shtick kind of thing. It's just like what drunk kids get so they don't burn their mouths on the pizza. But I've never seen it like this where it was like built in like that. The only cheese on that pizza is unmelted.
Yeah. So it's the DiCarlo family who did it. and they opened a Carlos in the 40s. So yeah, I could absolutely put you in contact with them.
I would love to know
Pretty
that. Yeah.
cool.
So DeCarlo's was the first place to do it.
Yep, they were the ones who opened the restaurant. According again, I talked to people who were informed from them that yeah, this is kind of, they're Italian immigrants and this is what they knew, and it opened up in Steubenville, Ohio, and Wheeling, West Virginia. It kind of spread down the Ohio Valley in West Virginia.
Do you know where in Italy they're from?
I don't recall offhand. It's probably I know it's on their website. I think I put it in the book, but I don't remember. I would guess somewhere down south, but I don't
That would
I
be
don't
my
remember.
guess. I mean, mostly because the whole Western PA, Ohio, West Virginia population of Italians was all from Southern
All
Italy.
Is it
Southern Sicilian
all
based, yeah.
Calabria and
Roman,
Sicily?
I mean, the
mostly.
majority of us, it's rare that I meet someone whose family came over in the 40s or the 50s and they're from Northern Italy. It was just the South is where they were so impoverished. They had no money, so they came to the United States to work.
It's really, this is a really fascinating one. It looks wild.
It is
It's all texture. Go ahead.
it is good, but it's just like so different from what I prefer, like the preference of what I like to eat pizza. But I would say, I've heard the stories of Steve, my husband's grandfather, who would work in the iron ore mines in Michigan, and they would have the potato sandwiches that would be wrapped, and it was cold. They would eat those cold.
Pasties?
The pasties with the potatoes and the meat, the sausage, and I didn't grow up eating them, so they're okay to me, but he loves them, and that's what they did though. So it was just like a cold sandwich. Why this isn't a sandwich, I don't know. Like a
Yeah.
calzone would make more sense to me, I
Make a
guess.
lot more sense to me, right?
I think like the West Virginia coal miners who would do exactly that, like rolls, like pepperoni rolls, calzones.
Right,
Like
which are so popular down there, right? I mean, pepperoni rolls are a thing there. Um, I don't know. I don't know why this is, amalgamation, or maybe it is, urban myth that got passed down from grandpa or something like that. But that's a story I get from everyone I ask. And they say it's where it originated, and I guess it makes sense. But yeah, it is really wild because it's a lunchable in the best compliment I can give, right? And you can get molten and they'll side eye you, right? Molten means you put it back in the oven.
Yeah, it's hot.
Don't do that. Get the texture. But yeah, it is wild, and that amount of pepperoni is probably a little lean compared to what I'm used to. I mean, it is handfuls and
Handfuls,
handfuls,
yeah. You
and
should
like
come to
wait,
Pittsburgh and try
yeah,
it.
yeah, absolutely. Come on out. That
love
is,
it. I would love it.
it's. I was glad I picked this one, the Ohio Valley, because it's just every time I bring it up to somebody, they're always intrigued. I do not sell it short because it is more of an open faced sandwich than a pizza, but you got to try it once.
Mhm.
I will. I'll try it
Very
twice.
popular. They do really well in Pittsburgh.
I bet it's one of those things where like people like they love that. They're like dedicated to that. And when they
Yes.
eat that, it's not
Yes.
like, oh, let's go for pizza. What should we get? It's like I need Betos or DeCarlos or whatever.
I call it
Yeah.
Betos. Is it Betos? I've never heard it. I don't know.
I mean, I would think Beto if it's
Betos,
Italian
how I've
Beto
pronunciation.
always.
sounds good.
Jim
We'll
said
go. I mean, you would
Beto.
know better than that.
Anna said I trust
I,
you
I, I
guys.
trust I trust Anna over me. I'm just a guy. So
We'll
all
just
right, two more, and this one, I love anytime I get to share UFL pizza news. So UFL and Pizza Hut team up for the first ever UFL Pizza Party weekend. Yes, it is officially Pizza Party weekend. To Pizza Hut now sponsor United Football League to celebrate the giving away 100 pizza parties as a form of Pizza Hut gift cards. Let's take away any thoughts we have on Pizza Hut. Start with Anna. Who would love a pizza party? How fun is this?
I think it sounds great. Sounds generous and fun. I mean, it's perfect for football.
Yeah, I don't know. Scott, you big UFL fan? I'm assuming, right? Who isn't?
I I waited till you scrolled down to learn what UFL was.
Okay.
I thought, is this a fighting thing or where they're in a cage and they battle? Or is it a football thing? And I saw a picture of a football and I said, It's football.
Yeah,
So
it is.
how are they giving away these prizes? How does it work? How do I win?
So it looks like online or in stadium at a UFL game, fans can enter online for a chance to win the pizza party, and they engage with the UFL. So UFL is think of it like a minor league football, right? So it's professional. They have a lot of players have affiliations with teams, but yeah, it's kind of somewhere between like a fan events at the games. And certainly you can register online too, but you've got like games and winner per quarter, and it just sounds like they're trying to steer into the collaboration with the people actually, watching at home or at the game.
Pizza Hut was always like in school. That was always the pizza party supplier.
Absolutely.
I just think Pizza Hut's always
Feels
been really
right.
good at community engagement.
I love it. Something like you can give away a $200 gift card, that's whatever. But when you call it a pizza party that hits the back then nostalgia, you're like, oh, that's fun, right? And even though it's the same amount to them, it's still 20 grand. I still think, right, it adds a little bit of whimsy to the thing, which all the best ones kind of do. So I don't mind it, right? I mean, listen, UFL isn't exactly the biggest thing, but you try and get a partnership and you're trying to give stuff away, and they made it official. It's official holiday pizza party weekend this upcoming
What does that
weekend.
mean? They made it official.
You go on official holidays, you Google, and it's a thing. There's probably a register, probably a form, same place where you can name a star, I'm assuming.
So yeah, I've looked into it before. I didn't know if this was more official. That like it is certainly not a federally recognized holiday, but there are companies out there that will basically sell a place on their calendar for you to create any holiday you want.
Love it.
Buddy's made, I want to say it's May 23rd coming up. I think is National Deep Dish or National Detroit Style Pizza Day. It's the
Oh,
same kind of thing where, like, exactly like you
yeah.
said, it's naming a star. 100 websites could sell a star. You would never know that, like, no, that's my star. I'm B1778212. Get off. Get off my lawn.
Get off my planetary celestial object.
I guess I get annoyed when I see some of these like, oh, it's like national holiday. Whatever. You can call it what you want it. Whatever. Who could argue with a pizza party?
If it gets people in my door, I'll call it national,
There
I
whatever.
you go.
know, right? But it's just always funny. It's like, okay, it is what it is.
National Eat Ice Cream for Breakfast Day is probably our busiest day of the year, and it's in the middle of February.
For
I
real.
sell a crap ton of gelato.
See,
That's a real thing here. I thought you were trolling me for a minute. It's a real holiday.
It certainly is a real
Anna,
Love it.
holiday in the ice
can
cream
you
Love it.
like
industry. We go wild.
can you send out a newsletter, like an email, like once a month declaring that day? Because I would love that excuse. Eat ice cream for breakfast.
Just to
Anytime you
Scott, though.
say it,
No one else.
Well,
I'll say,
Just
but
to
it's
it's
him.
the
National
first
Eat Ice
Saturday
Cream
in
for breakfast.
February every year.
I'm in
Oh,
it. I'm game.
let's
Mhm.
go.
I just think for like a pizza party day, yeah, I don't even need you to say it's a holiday. Just you
No,
do
let's
it and
go.
I'm in.
I give you permission to
Totally.
eat ice cream this Saturday.
Thank you.
You go. This is live, so there's no takebacks on that.
No, there's no take backs. This Saturday, ice cream for breakfast. I will be.
Saturday, though.
Although I'm
This
out of
Saturday.
mocha chip, so I don't know.
What? It's probably a 10-hour drive. I think you do it if
I
you're
can make it.
dedicated.
I'll come out, go to Carlos, go
Yeah,
to Beto's,
This
then
is
go to
a
Beto's.
total
it's all coming together.
sidebar. I flying gelato to New York for the John Arena Foundation event was a pivotal life-changing moment for us because my mother is flying to Colorado tomorrow with an entire case of gelato. We shipped some down, so we did consulting for a place in Oklahoma, and they were gone for 11 hours. It was out of our freezer with no dry ice, and they said it got there perfectly. 11 hours. I thought, I can ship gelato. I can take it with me now wherever I go, basically, which is
Huge.
great.
That's so
Who's
awesome.
excited?
Great for me when you come visit. I mean,
I
certainly.
know.
Please, when are you coming back to New York for
Probably pretty
seeing
soon.
some shows? Just let me know.
Yeah,
I'll meet you at the airport. I'll pick you up on my
exactly.
bike.
Exactly.
Love it.
Bring-
Or just eat it right there. Show your dedication.
National Eat Ice Cream at JFK Airport Day.
It's coming up. I hear it's right after I Need Pizza Club week, right? It's huge. It's a culmination to the whole thing. It's
I feel like
Amazing.
we could really do this.
Listen,
No
I'm
one's
game.
stopping us.
Yeah. Listen, free will at its finest. All right. One more article to go, which I can't even segue this one. So Casey's, one of my favorite pizza chains, and that's not totally ironic, adds star power for return of fan favorite pizza, courtesy of convenience store news. My first stop when I wake up in the morning. Casey's General Stores is teaming up with Food Network chef Andrew Zimmern to bring back its barbecue brisket pizza in time for, again, National Barbecue Day. Anyone big fan of Casey's? Anyone been to Casey's? I mean, I have. I love Casey's, but are we familiar with the chain?
I've heard of it,
Side
but
of
I've
the
never been.
articles I read. Never been.
It's weird. Like it's a convenience store. Their pizza has no business being as good as it is. I will just say that right off. Their breakfast pizza is excellent. I recently wrote an article where I named it the best convenience store food in the planet, and I mean it. And their barbecue brisket pizza was probably second. They stopped it for whatever reason a few years ago, and they're bringing it back. Why I think this is fun, right, is think of, your average Midwest town with one stoplight, right? Your closest access to pizza is probably a Casey's, right? So to have more than cheese and pepperoni, to have some options that's actually curated is kind of cool and kind of a big deal. So I love it. I'm always a fan of Casey's, and listen, it's not gourmet pizza, but it's pretty good. And I don't know, just something about doing more than the minimum is fun to me. So the brisket pizza starts with their dough. You put on Sweet Baby Ray's, of course you are. Then mozzarella and cheddar cheeses, and then double hardwood pit smoked beef brisket that's been dry rubbed and slow smoked for 16 hours. So listen, I'm gonna get one. I am very excited for this.
I think I would like you to freeze it and then ship it to me, and then I can eat it. I
Oh,
wonder where the closest Casey's is to Pittsburgh.
they're in Ohio. They're all over Ohio.
It's incredible.
I bet it's closer than you think.
I am sure. I'm sure it is. I've never seen one in Pittsburgh, but I'm only an hour and a half away from Ohio.
I bet there's one in Youngstown. I would almost guarantee it.
I wonder if I go for PizzaCon in Columbus in
I
October,
know there's a
I'm
Casey's in
gonna drive
Columbus.
past one
There
and
you
I'm gonna get
go.
the barbecue one with the Sweet
There you
Baby
go,
Rays.
Casey's. You owe me a sale now.
I'm
I
excited.
love Sweet
You
Baby
should be.
Ray's. I'm in.
For what it is, it's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
I mean, everyone has a bottle in their fridge. If you don't, you're lying.
I actually don't right now. I don't
You're
currently.
lying.
No, I'll show you my fridge. I will.
We're not that close, but I appreciate it.
I
Love
don't
it.
think I do either, but that's not to say that it's not possibly like in the pantry. I just don't think.
Well, I have three, so it averages out between the three of us. So
You're right about that.
that's all that really matters. Well, this has been an amazing show. Let's
So
start
fun.
with Scott. Where can people find you on the socials?
Easy. I'm just at Scott's Pizza Tours, and you can find Slice Out Hunger at Slice Out Hunger.
I'm at Anna.Crucitt on Instagram and Mercurio's PGH.
All instant follows. Jim Cook's Food Good, wherever you get your content. Of course, this is I Need Pizza Club. Find them on Instagram and YouTube. Like, rate, subscribe, all the cool thumbs up things that all the kids tell you to do. Support your favorite podcasts. So thank you all for another great show, and we will be on next week for another episode of Pizza Roundtable. Thank you all.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.